everybody, and welcome to Midweek Motivation. Happy November. So, with this being the month of Thanksgiving in America, I wanted to do a quote that was going to really make me think about what I'm thankful for. The quote is, "Grief is not a mountain. Grief is a backpack we wear." And that was by Nurse Hadley on TikTok. She's a hospice nurse. And I know that sounds so weird to be thankful for that quote, but it triggers something in me. Most of you all know that in March of this year, I lost my mother-in-law. In October, this past October, it marked the 12-year anniversary of the death of my uncle. It's been a few years since we lost my brother-in-law to cancer. And I have several other loved ones that I've lost in my short 38 years of life. And that quote made me really think. Grief is not a mountain that we can climb up and get over. Grief is a backpack that we put on. Some days it's really heavy. Some days are really hard. And then others seem to be just a little bit lighter and it's just easier to bear it. And in her TikTok video, she talks about that. We don't get over grief. We just carry it with us. Some days it's lighter, some days it's heavier. But we always have it in our hearts. And when I watched the video the first time, I thought about, I'm actually thankful for the grief that I have. The grief that I carry for the people I've lost and the pets that I've lost in my lifetime. Because they're part of my heart. I carry them in my heart. Every day I carry them in my heart. And some days it's easy, and then some days it is almost unbearable. But I'm thankful that they were in my life. I'm thankful that they got to touch part of me and make an impact in my life, whether it be for a few years or, decades or, just whatever the case may be. I get to carry them in my heart. And with November, I always try to be thankful every day of the year. But in November, I really make a point to be thankful, extra thankful for things in my life. And I focus on being thankful for something specific every day. And usually I start out with, I'm thankful for Jesus as my Lord and Savior of my life, or I'm thankful for my family, or I'm thankful for this or that or the other. But with this being November 1st, I'm thankful for grief. I'm thankful for grief because that means that I love somebody or something. And even though they're gone, I still carry them. I've talked about my mother-in-law several times on here. My brother-in-law, we lost him to cancer. He was a very ornery, is how we call it in this neck of the woods, very ornery individual. He loved to pick, he loved to pester, he loved to have fun. And if you would pick and pester back with him, you could just banter back and forth. And my uncle, who passed away 12 years ago, he was pretty much that same way. Every time he'd come up from Texas, he'd be like, "So, Tori, when you gonna get married?" And I would be 5 years old, and he would ask me this. But with him being a preacher, he always wanted to, his goal was to perform the marriage ceremonies for everybody in the family. That was his goal. But he unfortunately didn't get to do that, but that's okay. He was still at my wedding in my heart. So I'm thankful for grief. I'm thankful for having love for people in my heart, even though they may not be here with me. I still love my pets that are gone, from when I was a kid. You know, at one time my sister had a cat that was half Persian and half Siamese, and she looked like a spider monkey. So her name was Monkey, and she ended up becoming my cat. We ended up losing her when I was a teenager, but I still hold her in my heart. We had a beloved stock dog named Cindy. She's in my heart. We had Zeke. We had Smokey. We had Queenie. We had Sally. We had Jim. We had several dogs that were very special to us, and they're gone. But they're in my heart. I carry them in my heart, and there's so many people I could list on here that they're gone, but I love them and I still miss them. And in fact, the minister who performed Josh and I's wedding ceremony, he passed away. It'll be 1 year, November 30th. And his wife and him were really close friends with Josh and I, and we miss him terribly. We talk about him quite frequently at our house, and we carry him in our hearts, and some days are a little easier and some days are a little harder, but they're in our hearts. Okay. Years ago, if you're grieving somebody, it's okay. That just means that you loved them, and you're carrying them with you. And years ago, I heard this quote when I was a kid. No one is ever truly gone so long as they are remembered. There's a lot of people who are not truly gone because I remember them, and I have very fond memories of them. And I look back and I think about the good times, and I think about, seeing them at church or seeing them at family reunions or seeing them just out and about. They're not gone. They're in my heart. Right after Josh and I got married, he introduced me to, it's a musical couple, Joey and Rory Feek, and found out that she had cancer and everything like this. And I'm not going to go into the whole story of her life, but Josh actually played me a song that she and Rory wrote. And this instantly came back to mind when I watched the video that our quote came from. And it said, let me read right here. I pulled up the lyrics on my computer so I could read them. Dust will come with fireflies, whippoorwills, and cricket call, and every star will take its place in silvery gown and purple shawl. You'll lay down in your big bed, dread the dark and dread the dawn, but you'll be all right on that first night when I'm gone. Now, I have not lost a spouse. I can't imagine that. But I know I have seen, I saw my aunt after my uncle passed away, and my sister when her husband passed away. And my aunt told me that the first night was the hardest. Because he wasn't home. But she dearly loves him, even still today. I mean, my father-in-law still loves Barb, still loves his Barbie. But that last line, you'll be all right on that first night when I'm gone. Everything's going to be okay. Okay? And I'm saying this to you because there's times when I'm going to have to come back to this video and I'm going to have to hear this myself. It's going to be okay. There are days that are going to be hard. There are days that are going to be so easy. But remember, grief is not a mountain that we just get over. It's a backpack that we wear every day. Some days are easy and some days are hard, but that's okay. You're going to be all right. And with the holidays coming up, and I miss my mother-in-law a lot. I know everybody in the family misses her a lot. My mother-in-law was the type of person who's like, all right, we're having Thanksgiving at my house. We're eating at 12 sharp. I am doing this, this, and this, and I expect you guys to do this, this, and this. And this year, she's not here to tell us what to bring or what to get together or, this, that, or the other. Now, she was sick last Thanksgiving, but we still had her here. This year we don't. But it's okay. She's not gone. She's in our hearts. So, with that being said, before I just start bawling and ruining my makeup, I'm going to say the quote again. Grief is not a mountain. Grief is a backpack that we wear every day. By Nurse Hadley on TikTok. I appreciate you, Nurse Hadley. If you ever see this video, I appreciate that because when I saw that video, I was like, I'm going to do a video on it. Because there are a lot of people who do not understand that grief is not something we get over. Grief is something we carry with us every day. Grief is a sign of love. Okay? And do not be ashamed if you are grieving. And if there are days when your grief is really hard, or if your grief seems to be a little easier, don't feel guilty when it feels easy. Okay? Your loved one whom you are missing wants you to know that you're going to be all right. Okay? I know it's hard, but you're going to be all right. Okay, so anyway, like I said, before I start bawling and ruining my makeup here, you all are beautiful or handsome just the way you are. Just the way you are. I care for you guys a lot because I know that I'm not the only person on earth who is missing somebody this holiday season. I know I'm not the only person on earth who misses a loved one every day. But it's okay. We can band together and know to let each other know that we're not alone. Okay, I care enough to let you guys know you're not alone when you're missing somebody. And it may be somebody who died 40 years ago, or it may be somebody who died yesterday, or even today. It's okay to grieve. It is perfectly okay to grieve. All right? I care for you guys. You're not alone. Be kind to others who are grieving, but be kind to yourself. We are our own worst critics. Okay? Do not be beating yourself up because on Thanksgiving Day you break down because you're missing somebody. You're missing your mama, you're missing your cousin, you're missing somebody, you're missing your friend, you're missing your cat, you're missing your dog, you're missing your kids. Okay? Do not be afraid to let your emotions out. Okay? Don't be afraid. Alrighty, guys. Love ya!